Hello everyone, it's Elaine. Thank you for joining me today on my channel. Today I'm going to be sharing this magical unicorn card. This was a card I created for Justine Hobie's Save the Crafty YouTuber video hop on behalf of Crafting Desert Divas. So most of the products used in this video are Crafting Desert Divas related. You can find all the products I've used in the description box below. The hop hand competition has now finished, but I really enjoyed making this card and thought it was super cute, so I'm sharing it here on my channel as well. I hope you enjoy this video and let's just jump right in. So for today's card, I'm using Magical Unicorn stamp set from Crafting Desert Divas. I've taken a piece of Eclipse masking paper and I'm going to stamp one of the unicorns onto that masking paper. I'm going to be making a clean and simple card today. And I use my Memento Tuxedo black ink to stamp out my unicorn. And then take my Cutterbee scissors to cut that out. I have sped this up just to save time on the video. But I make sure I cut on the black line, just so that I don't leave any white pieces when you're using a stencil over the top, which we shall see in a minute. And then I take my mini Misty, I take a piece of Copic friendly cardstock, and then I'm going to be stamping that same stamp onto the cardstock. Again, using my Memento Tuxedo black ink because I'm going to be doing some Copic colouring today, and that is a Copic friendly ink. So I stamp that a couple of times to get a nice dark impression. And then I go and apply that mask that I created over the top, making sure I line everything up nicely. Now I'm taking my Spun Sugar Distress ink onto a clarity stencil brush, and I'm gently applying a very light layer all over that piece of cardstock. Just really gentle, just to give a hint of colour. And then I'm going in with my Hill Scene Stencil 2 from Crafting Desert Divas to apply some really light fluffy clouds all over that background. I did have a little bit of tumbled glass already on my stencil, so that turned it a very sort of purpley colour, that first cloud. But luckily for me that's fine because they're the sorts of colours I'm going for on this card. So I just move that stencil down. This stencil's got some lovely different shaped clouds on it, so I'll just move it around, flip it over, just to give it a little bit more of a random look. And just at the bottom I apply just a couple more clouds. I tap off my blending tool before I take it to the paper just to make sure it's really soft, no harsh lines. And then I can remove my mask. I just use my sharp scissors to remove that mask. And now I can move on to my Copic colouring. So I've listed all of the colours I've used on the screen here. I have sped this up quite a lot just to keep the video fairly short. But I will also link all of the colours used in the description box below, along with all the products I've used with links as well. So I'm just using some purples, very light purples, some light pinks and some light greens for the unicorn's mane and tail. And then I'm taking that pink onto the ears and those same colours on the unicorn horn. Didn't want to add too many different colours. I wanted to keep the colour palette quite simple. And just to give my unicorn some shading, I'm taking some cool grey markers, just so that my unicorn doesn't look completely flat. And then I did just take my colourless blender just to blend all that out. So I think there's about 10 markers in total for this card, so just use what you have in your stash. You can repeat the colours, you can build colours up by laying them over the top several times. There's lots of options. I'm going to be stamping a sentiment directly onto this piece of card, so to make sure that I've got it straight, I like to put everything into my MISTI and lay a piece of acetate over the top and then stamp onto that first, just to make sure I'm happy with how it's lined up, because I do have a tendency to stamp things wonky sometimes, and I wouldn't want to ruin all that hard work that I've put in with those clouds and masks and Copic colouring. So once I'm happy with how it looks, I can then stamp it for real. I'm taking my embossing tool, or my embossing buddy. I'm taking some Onyx Black VersaFine ink, and I stamp that a couple of times to get a really nice dark impression. Take some clear embossing powder and then use my heat tool to melt that and make it nice and glossy. So I have a little play around on my card base here with where I want it to look, and then I take this glitter cardstock with one of the dies from the Fancy Frames die set. I run that through my Big Shot machine because I'm hoping to achieve sort of some stitching effect on this cardstock. You will see in a moment. So this is going to sit behind my cloud panel, and I'm just going to trim this down because I don't want to waste all of that lovely cardstock behind the cloud panel. So I just trim those two pieces down. I think they're about 1/4 of an inch each, and they will run across my card, just like this. So now I need to adhere everything. So I take some 1/8 of an inch score tape and just use my scissors to trim that down. I'm applying this all over the back of that cloud panel, or all along the two edges where that glitter card will sit. Make sure it's secure. I remove the release paper and then adhere the glitter card. You'll see at the moment that my cloud panel is a touch too long, but I will be going along and trimming those off before I adhere it to my card base. So once I'm happy with one side, I then go ahead and secure the other side. So I've gone ahead off camera and just trimmed that down, and now I can adhere everything to my card base. This is a standard A2 sized card base. It's side folding, which is how I make most of my cards. Just trimming off any little excess pieces. And for securing this piece down to the card base, I'm using this 1/2 inch score tape. I find this really strong and sturdy. And once it's stuck down, it is not coming off. So I remove the release paper, line it up onto my card base. That's a heavyweight card base, nice and strong and sturdy. And then I take my quickie glue pen and apply some dots of glue all over that panel. And then I take some star sequins from the Fairy Dust sequin mix from Crafting Desert Divas, and I just apply a few of those all over the background. Just to give some nice shimmer and twinkle as the card moves. Not too many, just 5 or 6. I apply some glitter glaze, some Nouveau glitter glaze in Snowfall to the unicorn's horn, some Spectrum Noir sparkle pen to the cloud, and then just a tiny bit of glossy accents to the unicorn's hoof, just to finish everything off. And there the card is complete. Thank you for joining me today for this card process video. I hope you enjoyed it. All product links will be listed in the description box below. If you enjoyed the video, please do give it a like, and if you'd like to see future videos, please don't forget to subscribe, and I'll see you in my next video. Thanks for watching. Bye!